Hey there, my name is Simon Owens, and this is a new vlogging project that I'm starting. Just trying to have like basically a kind of daily place to jot down my thoughts. Starting in June, I started writing full time, working on my own content, where instead of working for content for other corporate clients. And the majority of my time is focused on kind of long form tech and media journalism. So I wanted a venue to where I can kind of talk freely about other things, opine quickly on things that are happening in the news, things that are happening on tech, media, or politics, or just talking about movies I'm watching, TV I'm watching, or just other random things that are going on in my life. So I don't know how mundane, how boring this is going to be. It might be kind of like navel gazing. Probably not a lot of people are going to watch it, at least to start out with. But I think it's going to be a good exercise to work on and work on a little bit of my broadcast skills, especially as I'm using YouTube also to conduct regular interviews with newsmakers, and I'd love to launch a podcast soon. So I got to get used to hearing the sound of my own voice and being able to talk freely about stuff. So I'm hoping to maybe record something quick every day, something less than 10 minutes long, get it out there, and then get on with my workday. So the thing I guess I want to talk about today, that's kind of fresh on my mind, is the election that happened in Georgia's sixth district last night with John Ossoff. Like, obviously, Democrats were having a lot of hope for Ossoff. He seemed to be doing well in the polls, was a few points ahead, and this would have been a big win for them if they did win, because he was going to replace Tom Price, who is now the Secretary of Health and Human Services, just a real dirtbag of a guy who has been caught basically insider trading with health stocks, who's been spending the last few years trying to dismantle Obamacare, which to basically take away health insurance from the millions of people who have gained it under Obamacare. And so Ossoff losing obviously is, I mean, you can't really sugarcoat it in the sense of we were definitely hoping to pick that up. But there is a silver lining. This really is a positive trend for Democrats. The first being is, as you might have seen, that this was the most spent in a House race, basically in history. And a lot of that was spending on the GOP side. So they were spending 2.7 to 1 in terms of outspending John Ossoff. And when you think about it, this was supposed to be a completely safe race for Republicans. Tom Price won the seat by 23 points in 2016. So the fact that they had to dump that much money, the most that they've ever spent in a race ever, in a seat that was supposed to be safe for them, I think that bodes really well for Democrats in 2018. And they're not going to be able to do this in 2018. They're going to be spread a lot thinner. There's just going to be so many different races, and all indications are there are going to be more Democrats running in 2018 that have run in previous midterm elections, which means they're going to be challenging them more and more fronts. And as we saw with South Carolina, which was a race that the Republicans didn't dump a lot of money into, the Democrat ended up outperforming outperforming what they were expected by a larger margin. So I think, part of unfortunately the thing for Ossoff was that there was just so much attention on the space that the Republicans were really able to just dump a ton of money into it and just really mobilize their base. So in some ways it ended up hurting them more than helping them, that there was all this attention on the race. And so I don't think the GOP is going to have that kind of advantage heading into 2018. Obviously, the seat is up again in 2018. The Democrats are going to have way more time to register even more voters, and every voter who dies of old age or whatever is more likely, disproportionately likely, to be a Republican, and every new registered voter, especially the younger ones, are disproportionately more likely to be a Democrat. So I think that these kind of forward-moving trends, when you're thinking about even a year from now, they're all moving in the Democrats' direction. And obviously, I think Trump every single day he's reaching a new low in terms of his disapproval, new low or a new high in terms of a disapproval and new low in terms of approval rating. And we know based on past experience that can really drag down ticket races down. So I think it's going to be even a worse situation for the GOP in 2018. The final thing I wanted to talk about, and this was something I tweeted about last night, but it's also been something I've been tweeting for some time. So after John Ossoff was endorsed by Daily Kos and a bunch of other places, I donated some money to his campaign, and basically I and everybody else who donated to him just started getting inundated with emails every single day, and not just every single day, upwards of 5 times a day, with just completely misleading subject lines, just like the worst kind of clickbait subject lines. And you would open up the email, there would be almost no substance within the email. Nothing talking about what John Ossoff's policies are. Nothing really to inspire. It was just a cheap marketing gimmick, and then an icon begging for money. There is just no reason why you should be sending 5 emails a day using your email list from an email marketing perspective just to beg for money every single day. And this is really a tactic that isn't unique to John Ossoff. What it is something that's really kind of spearheaded from the DCCC. And anytime you donate to the DCCC or any candidate that has allowed their email list to be taken over by the DCCC, it's called, I think there's a term for it in the email marketing political ecosphere, it's called burning your list, just inundating it, begging for money, using it for nothing else. And it's just so toxic, it's so prevalent, and it just needs to stop. And I'm not someone, I feel like as a culture, we're too quick to just call for the firing of people. Ron Johnson talked about this in his book on internet outrage. I usually don't wish for people to lose their jobs, even people that I don't agree with or are politically, the political opposite of. But I really think that the DCCC, they really just need to start with a clean slate. They really need to just fire their entire email marketing staff because it's just so bad. And the counter to this might be, well, they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. And I would say, well, what does work mean? And they would probably say, well, it raises a lot of money. Well, your role isn't to raise money. That's kind of like a means to an end. Like your real goal is to your real goal is to win the race. And there's just no way to measure for every dollar you raised through these 5 emails a day begging for money, how many people you've turned off by just treating them basically like human ATMs. How many people could you have moved if you had told about their policy? How many people could you have gotten a phone bank for you? It's just, the list goes on and on. And I felt really used. I ended up finally just having to unsubscribe to his email list. I was just getting so annoyed. And so, yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's terrible. I think it's ruining email marketing. And this didn't start with John Ossoff. It was Hillary Clinton. It was Barack Obama. If you signed up for Hillary Clinton's text messages, she never sent you anything inspiring. It was always just begging for more money, more money. Well, guess what? She raised more than her opponent, and she still lost. It's just not inspiring. It's treating your base like it's an ATM. You would never do that on Facebook and Twitter or any other marketing channel. You would never run commercials that did nothing but beg for money. So why are you treating your email list like this? So anyway, that's my rant. That's what I think about that race. And I'll see you tomorrow.